After 200 hours spent in the newly released Ark Survival Ascended, was it really worth it, or does it just feel like 2016 all over again? After taming up an army, going through caves and even defeating my first boss, let's take a look at ASA. All of this brought to you in 4K 60 by my new 4090 and the burning hole in my bank account. What's up folks, welcome to the channel, this is Sarko. Consider leaving a like and subscribing, and let's start right off by showing you my new favorite feature in ASA. Ooh. Oh, fuck yeah! That's right, no longer do you have to wake up your whole neighborhood trying to play Ark at 3 in the morning. Now, with that out of the way, let me show you some new features and some fancy graphics. Starting out with the ability to change the view distance on your dinosaur in third person. First, I thought this is just for content creation and maybe just to dial in on your personal preference. But with time, I found that it really has some major use cases. For example, here in the forest, I can just zoom in and now I'm able to see. I'm able to see this massive drop there and not fall down the waterfall. It's also very useful if you like to play third person in caves, because if you zoom all the way in, you can still see your dinosaur and everything that's happening without your camera getting stuck on all the mesh and the cave constantly. ASA comes with a ton of quality of life improvements, like being able to hold R and change ammo, Rust style, or not having to worry if you want to spend all those points on movement speed or not. But the greatest improvement by leaps and bounds is the new way that water and electricity works. That's just great. It just eases up the way you use all these tools. For example, I never really bothered setting up an industrial cooker in Survival Evolved. But here, if there's water and a generator nearby, you just plop it down and it works. It's just a nice addition. Also, while we're here at the base, let's talk about building. It also got some love. Also, these turning doors are my new favorite thing, although I think every building from now on will just be a square block without doors. Also, you can now cycle between parts, which is really handy. You don't have to craft 5 different things and then carry them all in your hotbar. And damn, look at these doors. Look at these doors. Also, you're able to pick them up now, which also makes building so much easier. Because you don't destroy them all the time and then have to rebuild them and And we can't get away without talking about the graphics of this game. Because damn does it ever look good. The water looks great, the clouds are realistic, the treetops move when a large dinosaur passes through. You will be able to see the bush rattle once a chompy is making its way to you on the ground. And if you hold off on turning off all the fog and the clouds, it just oozes atmosphere. It looks so great. It has surpassed just looking good, because it's one of those experiences where I just have to take a break and just look at the scenery for a second, because damn. At the moment though, this comes at a price. If you want to play this game at 1440p, you gotta have a pretty recent graphics card, and if you want to play it at 4K, buckle up, this ain't gonna be cheap. For comparison, my 3080 did handle 1440p fairly well, although at 10 gigabytes of VRAM it did run into issues every now and then and it had some hiccups. As for the 4090, it does run pretty nice, even on Epic. But even with frame generation, I have not seen over 90 FPS, generally averaging in the high 50s to maybe 60s. I have to run NVIDIA drivers from late October though, because if you don't do that, it tends to crash every 10 minutes and you can't really see the UI. So yeah, that's that. I did a video on it if you want to go check that out. And since we're moving right into the negative here, let me tell you where you might get some Survival Evolved launch flashbacks if you play Survival Ascended right now. Because if it's true and they really redid their entire codebase, well, they just made the same mistakes again. From floating dinosaurs to being stuck and unable to run in your dinosaur, to pathfinding issues and hitbox struggles, it's all back again, baby. together with some new concerns about people using UE5 console commands to disable all the foliage and stuff and giving them a clear advantage in PvP. But I'm hopeful that Wildcard will address this because at least they mentioned it on the Discord. Speaking of that Discord, honestly, I think it's very nice of them that they run this Discord actively and post all the updates and bug fixes and everything they do on there. I really hope they continue with this because communication is really key amongst all the controversy currently around this release. Yeah, let's also talk about this for a second. So I'm cutting in at launch here because covering everything that happened before that would take half an hour. So what happened there is they had to push out Ark Survival Ascended before end of October. Because we later found out that they were in a deal with Nitrado, the server hosting company, where they would have had to make Nitrado the sole hosting provider for Ark Survival Ascended and Ark Survival Evolved too. So they would have had to stop all the current hosting providers from further hosting Ark Survival Evolved servers and then not give them the right to host Ark Survival Ascended servers, which they currently still don't have. But you can host your own Ark Survival Ascended server as long as you don't generate profit while doing so. Further controversies include the two console releases. Xbox is out at the time of recording this, but PlayStation is still hanging in there and scheduled for early December. But once everyone has their hands on the game, just make sure not to play on official servers, because at the moment that's just not a great experience. Stick to unofficial or host your own server, that's pretty much the way to go at the moment. Because even on a fiber connection and on a server with about 50 people on it, the dinos were just rubber banding back and forth, and it was pretty annoying and really hard to hit something. That's about where my official experience ended. Others have reported constant server crashes and rollback to the last 15 minutes. Yeah, that's why I would advise just playing on unofficial, where people can actually save quit their server and do more saves than every 15 minutes. I do 3 to 5 minute saves on my server, so I don't lose that much progress. And yeah, if you really want to play official, maybe just play single player for now and then go on official once they've settled all these issues. It seems they're working on server improvements mostly at the moment. Most of the patches are server patches or crash fixes or like related to exploits. I hope we will see some more performance improvements for the client too later on. But yeah, I hope they keep up the good work. So, in conclusion, I really can't say I hated the experience. It comes with all the features and all the quality of life improvements you'd expect a game in 2023 to have. And the graphics are simply stunning. So if you have the graphical horsepower to run this, there's just nothing like getting chased by a raptor and then later chasing him back with a shotgun. And if not, although it's sad to say, you might be better off doing the usual and just waiting half a year until Wildcard have hopefully optimized and fixed their game and also released new content. Because at the moment, the only map is the island. There are no cryopods and yeah, no items from maps like Scorched Earth, because they will be releasing still, but they have not released with the game, so we're still waiting on those. They're expected to release Scorched Earth before New Year, so yeah, let's hope on that happening. I'm also rooting for them to release the center before New Year, but yeah, that's just my hopes and dreams. So, all in all, despite all the controversy and the problems, I think this is a good improvement upon Survival Evolved, and it really looks and feels like a 2023 title. With the mod support and crossplay with mod support and the awesome graphics, they really set up a good platform here, and I hope it will thrive for years to come. So if you liked this video and if you'd like to see more about Ark Survival Ascended in the future, make sure to subscribe, like the video, maybe leave a comment what you think about the new Ark Survival Ascended, and let's see you guys soon.